Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is a Blackshirt breakdown with Steve Marik, and he is Jay Foreman, our NFL veteran and former Nebraska Blackshirt. Jay, we have another Husker commit to break down here in the class of 2024. Evan Taylor at a Waxhaw, North Carolina, and Culbertson High School. So, Jay, just when you're looking at Evan Taylor's highlights, he'll start as a defensive back at
Right.
Nebraska when he gets here. Just what were your overall thoughts on Evan Taylor, the 6'2", 185-pound defensive back from Waxhaw, North Carolina?
Again, I think he's just, he fits the script. He's a good athlete, multi-sport athlete, multi-position athlete, long, rangy, athletic,
Mm-hmm.
fluid, and a competitor. I used to live in the Charlotte area, so I know the Waxhaw area pretty well. They play a pretty good brand of football there. Very competitive and tough. Good program as well. So he's going to come in with the ability and be ready to work. And so that's what they're trying to do. I think what people maybe kind of, I always say, gloss over is the accumulation, because people just go right to stars, right? And just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, you know what? We need 25 4 stars and we're going to win a national championship in 2 years. Well, what Matt Rhule is doing is like, we're going to get a bunch of guys that have the potential to be, grow in and play into 4 and 5 stars, but they're looking for a bunch of competitive guys and get like-minded guys together and let just the cream rise to the top. So he fits right into, what they've done. Well, first of all, what they said they were going to do, from the very beginning, and then what they've done so far in, obviously in the first, transfer portal kind of class that they put together, and this is their first full class as a staff coming together as well.
Yeah, so just a little bit more about Evan Taylor. Not a highly recruited guy. His other Power Five offer, aside from Nebraska, was Rutgers. So, and he visited Rutgers during his recruitment process, but Nebraska wins out. So again, he, like you said, Jay, he fits the mold of a under recruited Matt Rhule recruit, and they're going to
Right.
bring him in, and he's a low 3-star rated by rivals. But I don't think that this staff right now cares about rating stars and all that stuff. They care about what they see on film, what they think they can turn recruits into. And at 6'2", 185 pounds, Evan Taylor he's lanky, he's long. He's got a lot of limbs, and what we'll show the highlights here. Once he gets going, he's pretty fast. So over at Culbertson High School, he had 10 tackles and 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery on defense, but he also was a two-way player, and he caught 35 passes for 528 yards and 7 touchdowns on defense as a receiver. So just a lot of potential here, and I'm really just going to be interested. A lot of these under recruited recruits in the 24 class from Nebraska, we're going to have our eyes on them to see how they develop through the years and what kind of job Evan Cooper does with Evan Taylor. And who knows, with the position flexibility that the coaching staff seems to like with guys, maybe Evan Taylor's going to wind up at receiver sometime. Who knows?
Sure.
It's a long way to go. But Jay, let's get to these highlights here. First of all, just, he's going to pick off a pass here. What are your thoughts on Evan Taylor and kind of the job he does at outside corner here?
Well, I like it. He's in a position where, this is one-on-one here. There's no help by a safety. It's locked in man to man. I like the ball skills, breaking on the ball right there. So when he kind of baited the quarterback in
Yeah.
the throwing that pass, but look on the break on the ball and the angle, and then obviously we always like to talk about ball skills, right? And that's high pointing the ball, catch it clean, and then be off to the races. If you look at this right here, see right there, the receiver didn't do a good job coming back to the ball, but he did a really good job from his receiver, from being a receiver. He knows how to go attack the ball. See, like how he comes out the break. I look how he sinks his hip, and once he sees it in the air and goes and gets it, you see that like 1 or 2 acceleration that really goes into almost warp speed, and he makes a huge play right there in the red zone because the team potentially could have scored. And so I like his ability to play, receiver or DB. I like that he's had 10 tackles and 1 interception. I like actually that he's a lower rated guy because he's going to continue to work, because I'm sure he wants to be rated higher than he presently is. He's going to get more looks in recruitment, right? Probably from the local,
Yep.
Power 5 schools. But Nebraska's been first on him like many others, and they're going to look at him as the, come in here and use his skills or his skill set that he has right now and try to see where he can develop into. And again, right here, so he was a little bit of off man in the first one, right?
Okay.
This right here shows his ability to play press man. So you like the coverage, technique, and scheme flexibility now, right? He jams him up. Good. What he did a really good job right there. You got to beat a little bit off the line of scrimmage. So what do you want to see? His ability to recover and not panic, right? He misses his initial jam right there, right? He had a little bit in the backfield, but then he whips his head around and gets into the hip pocket of the receiver, reading his eyes. And then when he knows the ball coming, look at these ball skills right here. You talk about a corner that you want, a legit 6'2" that can run.
Yep.
And you would like to see him get that interception right there, right? Because he's got to high point the ball instead of cradle it right here. But I like his ability to recover and then turn into a receiver on the defensive side of the ball. Made a little bit of mistake, made up for it. And then the excellent technique right here, where he kind of like boxes them out towards the sideline, is something that it's a good coaching from his coaches, but it's great execution on him right here. This is a hard thing for DBs to do, is to kind of out of your peripheral body him out and then make a play on the ball. Because you're not sure exactly where he's at, but you're kind of boxing him out, and then you're playing the ball as if the pass was intended to you. So it's a really good job by him executing, a press man technique and making some plays.
First two plays were of him in pass coverage, but I always like to add in a run support, a tackle highlight if we can find one. And I thought this was a really good body control, really, really good. He's just under control of his body on this tackle. And he wraps up too, which again, you don't see a lot often. So just really good stuff here, bringing the ball carrier to the ground.
Yeah, they're in a little bit of zone right here. He played deep to short right there, so he was taking care of his responsibility. So he made the quarterback make the decision. Which defenses will give up is the flare pass, right? You see this right here. He's able to read from 1 to 2, right? He's reading the outside receiver to the inside receiver. He's playing deep to short, not giving up the 7 cut there. Came out of his break, really patient, and made the tackle. I'm assuming this is 3rd down, and he knows it's about 3rd and 12. It looks like he knows just have to make the tackle. Comes up, good balance. Good athletic ability, and then he goes and attacks the inside hip right there and gets him down in a solo tackle. So you like his ability to, one, do his job with good technique right there. You see he fluffed off right there. That's taking away that 7 cut for the quarterback to try to get it towards the sideline, right? Then when he came up, he knew he had inside help, but what he did was he shut down the inside, so you couldn't cut back against the grain of defense, because right there, if he misses immediately, he can split those two defenders, the defensive tackle and the inside linebacker. So he forced him to the sideline, and then he made the tackle himself. So it's a really good job by not only doing your job in coverage, but then coming up and being a pretty good football player and making a tackle on 3rd down.
And I know that Evan Taylor is the plan right now is to have him begin his career once he signs at Nebraska on the defensive side as a cornerback. But I just wanted to throw this receiver highlight in there because it shows you his speed and his acceleration and his long legs, that once they get going, he might not look like he's going fast, but a long strider, he can get going pretty good.
Yeah, Steve, we used to call these guys that once they get going, they look like gazelles, right? They look like they're just kind of floating. And then the next thing you know, they're 5 yards past you. And so, look, he's a limber, long kid. He's a legit 6'2" with long arms.
Yep.
And once you see him going, once that speed right there, he's gone right there. You see them strides. Look, he's outrunning the cameraman.
Yeah, he
right.
Yep.
And so when you look how when he catches this right here, I like it a little kind of just a fluff route, I call it, caught the ball behind him, gets it, and he went from that 35-yard line to the 25. Just look how fast when he gets up to speed right about there, and he's gone. Right there is a touchdown. And so they're looking at that and seeing the acceleration, and once he gets going, you can kind of look at some of the plays that this play right here and see what he's doing. It's a fluff route where you kind of fluff off the line of scrimmage. Nobody's essentially guarding you. It's probably a defensive bust by the inside linebacker, and once he catches, he's able to split the defense and outrun angles, and that's what you want to see from a Power 5 receiver in high school. Split the defenses and outrun angles, right? So the corner couldn't get him, and neither could the other safety for coming from the other side of the field. So look, it's appealing to both McGuire and Cooper. They're probably gonna rock paper scissors or have constant competition on where he can end up at. And look, position flexibility, and coming out of high school, and the willingness to be flexible and not just saying I'm only a receiver, I'm only going to be a defensive back, letting the coaches come in and start you somewhere and see where it goes is also something that isn't in the star rankings, right? And look, he's a developmental player. You can see by him right now, he has Division I skills and potential.
Mm-hmm.
Now he just needs to get the production there. He's in a little bit smaller town outside of Charlotte, right? So not in the inner city where it's the football. He's not, so he's not getting the same, legitimate looks or the respect. Now it lets you know that like Matt Rhule and staff are on the lookout everywhere they go.
Yeah.
They are using their whole kind of black book of, coaches and scouts or whatever it is to find players. And he fits the script. A lot of potential, a long, athletic kid, good quickness, acceleration is there, and he has a frame that you can build on. If he starts out as a corner or a free safety, I can envision him in that, as a free safety, a long free safety that has superior ball skills, that can get off the hash and get to the sideline to make a play on a deep route. And then he has the ability to high point the ball and body control. And those are things that, they're looking at as far as what they need in their roster. And so he fits the script. Another good get. And also I like it when you go to these like off the beaten path places, Waxhaw, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to kind of plant your flag, and spread your web. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you start to, go to other places around those surrounding areas, they know, oh, we've gotten so-and-so from here. We've gotten so-and-so from there. You've recruited this person really well. He's done really well at your college, from said part of the country. So I think it's a really good job on them on all areas to really, attack this recruiting and attack the idea of building the roster with really good players, good athletes, and let it figure itself out. Because generally, that's what happens in football. It figures itself out very quickly and surely.
Yeah, and just one last kind of an interesting factoid. We talked about going to North Carolina, finding this kid off the beaten path that maybe not others are looking under, and he is the first recruit from the state of North Carolina going to Nebraska since 2002. So that was quarterback Kurt Dukes, who was from North Carolina, and defensive lineman Brandon Gleason, who was also from North Carolina. So since 2002, Evan Taylor is the first Husker recruit from the state of North Carolina since 2002. Crazy, right?
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty. That's a pretty cool stat. And then, hopefully he works out well when he comes here. I think he has a great opportunity to expand out. You see a lot of growth potential with him.
Yep.
And I'm sure both of those coaches are really chomping at the bit to get him in and develop, because you can tell a football player when he jumps off tape and the things that he does well are really appealing to the Nebraska coaching staff.
Absolutely. So that was Evan Taylor, a 3-star defensive back for now, recruit from the state of North Carolina, 6'2", 185 pounds, long, lanky. Once he gets those legs going, he can run. So for Jay Foreman, I am Steve Marik, and that was a Blackshirt breakdown, Evan Taylor style. Catch y'all later.